Ducky, quack, quack.
What? Yeah. I like it. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man.
I don't know, like, hey, what's going on, guys? We are the Ref Bump Podcast. My name is Nagel. This is Brandon, and we're here to talk about some wrestling today. I'm no longer just sports entertainers.
Sports entertainers.
They're no longer just talking about them damn sports entertainers. We're professional wrestlers. That's it. That's it. When it comes down to it, it's the greatest goddamn sport United States ever created. Goddamn wrestling.
Southern grit.
Give them good old fucking bionic elbow. Just fucking, yeah.
Give him the good old ankle twist. Or the claw, the iron claw.
The fucking, yeah, whatever that movie was called. You see that like button? Hit it with the fucking elbow drop. Ooh, spear the fucking notification bell.
So, my camera died while we were shooting this. And so I had to switch to a phone camera. Just for quality purposes, to let you know.
Let me just straighten.
Just insert technical difficulties card.
Yeah, just fucking run a quick message from Nick and Matt Jackson, our EVPs.
The Brothers Jackson.
The Brothers Jackson, of course.
Which is what they should change their name to. The Brothers Jackson.
I don't know. I mean, they are the elite. They are the top of the table, if you will. But anyways, I think we should get into the because they're not the head of the table, but they're the top of the table. You know, like you can't
kicks at the table.
Yeah, man, they're the legs of the table.
The legs.
The legs of the table. Super kick party. That's a weird looking table, if you think. Build a table out of wrestlers.
Okay. Well, obviously, head of the table is Roman Reigns.
I mean, it's gotta be.
Legs of the table, either the Young Bucks or Stacy Keibler.
I'm gonna say the Young Bucks or Shawn Michaels. Or maybe even the Usos if we're doing tag teams.
If we're just doing super kicks.
Yeah, if we're only doing things that require legs, I'm definitely taking those four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The frame of the table, I guess the table itself.
Yeah, the tabletop.
The tabletop.
Yeah.
Who's the flattest person in wrestling?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
The flattest person in wrestling.
And say The Miz.
The Miz is a bit chubby.
The Miz is a tabletop if I've ever seen one.
He's a bit chubs.
How thin of a table are you thinking? I like a nice thick table.
Thick table.
Thick ass table for real. Like when it comes down to it, you're looking at a table.
If you want a thick table, then you pick Sheamus.
I'm picking fucking Omos. Omos is a big ass table. I was thinking Otis. I don't know why I said Omos.
Otis would be like a beanbag chair.
my brother Otis is about to become the what is it? The Hall of Pain, Mark Henry all over again. They are running back too many storylines on WWE right now.
I don't think he's gonna be Hall of Pain.
He's gonna beat Hall of Pain because you know how big of a pop they're all screaming for Otis right now. Otis is maybe top 5 most over wrestlers on Raw right now.
Okay, on Raw. I was gonna be
on Raw right now.
Even then, no. There's Punk
on SmackDown last week.
No. But he's a Raw superstar.
Punk, doesn't matter. On SmackDown last week, a SmackDown superstar last week.
Punk. Seth Rollins
he didn't even compete last week.
That's not what you're saying. You said over. You said over.
Okay.
You said over.
Okay.
Braun. Braun.
When Hall of Pain hits Braun Breaker, he's not gonna know what fucking happened.
You're crazy.
Crazy. Or am I a visionary? Am I a prodigy? Am I an architect? Am I the head of the table? Am I the psycho lunatic? What am I?
I don't know. Shield?
Sierra.
Hotel.
Echo.
India.
Dick. Shield.
No. You forgot Lima.
Shit.
Lika.
Ligma.
Ligma. Dick.
Yeah,
Shield.
man. So it's got to be like Sigma. What is like the H? I don't even know. Horny. I don't even want to continue the cursed shield.
The curse shield.
The curse
No, we should do
shield.
that one day. The curse
Yeah,
shield.
we'll just recreate like acronyms. Like AOP is
The
against
Gen Z shield.
who would even be the Gen Z shield? I'm trying to think. Like Yes Boy.
Yes, what? No.
Yes
No.
Boy.
No, they would not be. They would not be
Why
shield.
can't they be the shield?
Because they're. First of all, I haven't seen them wrestle in months.
They were on
And-
NXT.
Recently?
Nah, what was that Clash of the Castle that they were at? That I saw them in the crowd.
Yeah, they had a bunch of people in the crowd, like, who we got next? And then
Yes, boy.
yes, boy. I need some more yes, boy.
I need. I used to get so mad when they would win because they would do the dumbest heel tactics, and then they would use a move called spilt milk, and that shit just pissed me. I'm like, that's not a
Milk.
fucking finisher. Someone's gotta
Braun.
say it. But Braun Breaker's been running the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed Ricochet live on TV. I can't believe they just let that happen. He was about to kill Ilya Dragunov.
Chad Gable was killed live on TV.
And now he's back. Did you hear they re-enlisted him in the match tonight?
Yeah. Also killed was Ludwig Kaiser. That run around spear.
That was they're definitely up in their camera angles, that's for sure. All right, we should probably get into our first topic. I think
we need to establish a backstory. Why do the people care what we have to say? Why do they think we're wrestling fans? Besides the gifts going on in the background and us having a 15-minute
why do they
conversation?
think? Okay, so what got you into wrestling?
Okay. The Zoom.
What got you into professional wrestling?
All right. So my mom and sister did because they were watching it during the Attitude Era, and I was a wee boy, a wee lad who couldn't choose what he watched. I was just chugging along to everything.
There was one TV in the house.
One remote.
That's it.
Nickelodeon ended at 4 p.m. in my household.
That's it. No SpongeBob, no all of that. None of that prime time television.
Nope, it was all wrestling. And then New York also had the WWE restaurant back then, so we would actually go to meet the wrestlers and get like autograph signings and stuff. So we have like pictures with wrestlers, we have autographs with wrestlers. So I started pretty much as a young kid watching the Attitude Era, like growing up watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, some Shawn Michaels. Some Shawn Michaels. He missed a couple years here and there. But yeah, that was the era I grew up in. What about you?
So I was right after that. I think it was the Ruthless Aggression era, but I was kind of forced into wrestling at the beginning. I didn't really watch it. I had not that much interest in it. My older cousin would come babysit me because my family was poor. So he couldn't afford like an actual babysitter. So my cousin would come over, he would turn it on and be like, you got a trampoline in the backyard. And I'm like, astute observation. What are you talking about? And he would go, let me just try something. So it started with something as simple as like getting speared on my trampoline. And then we got a pool. And then it just got the most dangerous. We're doing moonsaults off of trampolines into pools. I'm getting Batista bombed off of my trampoline. It was my first concussion ever. Was I took the craziest bump in the history. I was selling my brain out at like 8. So I got super kicked in the face. He actually kicked me. So like I went back and then he's like, I'm not done. And he Batista bombs me. And my trampoline didn't have a net back in the day. So I would bounce. And he launched me, and then I hit the actual like ground that I was around, and I just laid there. I was like, this is the end of my wrestling career. I'm not going anywhere after this. AEW wouldn't even sign me. I was just laying there. It was over to me.
Damn.
It was over. I was like, Ring of Honor wouldn't even look at my application. That's how tragic this injury. Once in a lifetime sports injury, for real. I was prime Jeff Hardy, and then I was down to a mere Santino Marella.
The only time I've ever sold a bump, I was actually an adult. I had a coworker who was also into wrestling, and she did a super kick after we had like our morning meeting. And one of the supervisors saw me take the bump, and they were like, "What happened?" And I was like, "It was fake. We were pretending." And I was acting because I sold it. I was like,
Play the clip of Dolph Ziggler talking about him selling, where he's like, yeah, they would always ask me, like, are you okay? And it's like, looks like I'm doing my job right. That's that's one of my favorite Dolph Ziggler clips.
Dolph Ziggler is a national treasure.
He deserved more.
That's not his name anymore.
The aura that 2014 Survivor Series Dolph Ziggler had should be studied, should be tested and replicated. But instead,
we gotta call him Nick Nemeth now.
No, I don't think I will. But all right, did you ever leave? Did you ever stop watching wrestling?
I did. I actually missed like the beginning of Ruthless Aggression. I don't know why my camera's like fading in and out. I'm like ethereal right now. I don't know, maybe
you're getting drugged down by the Wyatt sick.
No, the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era, I think I just, again, because I wasn't the one controlling the TV, like once my sister and mom stopped watching it, I stopped watching it for a bit. And surprisingly, what got me into wrestling again wasn't WWE. It was actually TNA. I started watching like pre-peak TNA, right before they brought in a bunch of like old superstars. But like Sting was there, AJ Styles was there, Samoa Joe was on his like undefeated streak. It's Sting.
So pre-Joe Hendry. Damn.
And I remember vividly, I was watching like MXC. Did you ever watch MXC on Spike TV?
Hell no.
MXC was like the American dubbed version of Takeshi's Castle.
Okay.
Which is like the predated version of Wipeout for people who don't know.
Boy, Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty much Wipeout, but like the original Japanese version.
Yeah.
And they had like an English dub version of it called MXC. But they oddly enough, they would run ads for TNA because it was on the same channel, so Spike TV. And then I was watching it and I was like, I know some of these wrestlers. Like, I don't know if I realized it wasn't WWE, but I was like, that's Ron the Truth Killings, right? That's K Quick, who's now R-Truth. Or, you know, yeah. Or, you know, that's Christian Cage.
Back then he was Christian.
Yes. But on TNA he was Christian Cage.
I was gonna say he said Christian Cage and Christian, two different versions of himself, two different compartments of his brain. Christian Cage has never met Christian.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my father figure, Christian.
Yeah,
Cage.
Father of the patriarch. Put some fucking respect on it.
Nothing but respect. I am a peep. Okay.
Would you call yourself a son?
I am a son.
Okay, that's all that matters. One man above Christian. That's what we say.
One man above Christian.
One man above Christian.
Christian Cage.
That's it.
So yeah, like I started watching TNA, and then I started getting back into WWE, and that was like when John Cena he ditched Doctor of Thugonomics. I missed all that. He was like the Marine, right? That was him.
Hustle, loyalty, respect.
You know, Batista, Bobby Lashley, the fake ECW brand.
The fake ECW brand.
Fake ECW brand. That shit was not extreme.
What are you talking about?
They had vampires.
That's the
And it
most
wasn't
extreme
Gangrel.
thing
It
I could
wasn't even
ever
the
think.
Gangrel one. It was another one. I think it was Kevin Thorne or something. But yeah, on Sci-Fi, I remember that. So yeah, that was pretty. Like I had a small lapse, and then I got back into it, and then I had another small lapse right after the Shields. Not right after the Shield debuted, but a few months after the Shield debuted, I kind of stopped watching again. Like I would keep up, but I wasn't like watching it weekly basis kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, and then when AEW came on the scene, I started watching AEW a lot more. And one of my friends was like, "Dude, you got to get back into wrestling. Like, some storylines are developing. Roman Reigns is like a heel now. The Bloodline's a great storyline. Yeah, the Bloodline's a great storyline." And then I started tuning in back into WWE, and since then I've just been watching it since the Bloodline storyline started.
Yeah, shout out Roman Reigns. He really did put
Shout
the
out Roman
fucking
Reigns.
team on his back. He held it for 4 years, and now it's at the peak of its peak. But you couldn't have done it without the one, the only, the tribal chief. I used to hate Roman Reigns. First year I got
Until
back
he
into
left.
first year I got back into wrestling. So I stopped right before I guess everything was getting good. I realistically think the last time I watched WWE was Money in the Bank 2011, which is a big like factor because like I missed the Dolph Ziggler 2014 Survivor Series. I missed everything. I missed the Shield. I missed the Wyatt family introduction. I think I missed
Nexus.
I think I missed like I was at the later part. Like Ryback was like the big guy in the Nexus back then.
What?
Yeah, dude,
Tell you what.
it was a bad time. Like I said, I was there when it was like like I don't want to watch this shit anymore. I missed like the introduction of like the Shield, everything like that. I got back into it, I think 2022. Like randomly, you were like, "Hey, let's watch the Royal Rumble at like my dad's
I was
house."
like, yo, the Royal Rumble's on. Let's fucking watch this shit.
And I'm like,
Right
"There's no
here.
way that you still watch wrestling. Like this
I
shit's
was like,
lame." And then I remember
pretty good.
like having heart palpitations during. I was like, "I'm really getting into this shit. Like, hold on." And then like I started rewatching a lot of the older stuff. I was like, who is this Roman Reigns guy and why is he so popular? Like why is he like the tribal chief? Like I heard of him
Yeah.
before and he was like the big dog and he was walking around with like I heard like the names throughout the like I stayed somewhat in the scene, so I knew about like Dean Ambrose, I knew about Seth Rollins. I just never knew about all their accolades and like what they were known for, like the heist of the century, the lunatic, whatever his name is.
Fringe.
Yeah,
Lunatic Fringe.
yeah,
The Looney Tune.
yeah, the loony guy, like whatever. I was like, okay, and then like I knew about Chris
You missed
Jericho.
out on the man with no chin, dog.
Who the hell is that?
Remember the Chris Jericho promo where he was like,
Oh
"Someone
yeah,
has
yeah.
left their child."
Play the clip right here.
Whoa. What the hell is that? Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. It seems that we have a lost child at ringside. Would his parents please come and pick him up right now?
But yeah, no, like I said, I was able to rewatch a lot of the stuff. Like it's all recorded. Something that's weird that I didn't get to see was Bray Wyatt win his title against AJ Styles at Elimination Chamber because they took it.
Sick.
They took it off
a
Peacock.
shocker.
They've taken it off Peacock. They've taken it off
did?
YouTube. I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it. I don't understand. Like I don't know any of the like the ideas behind it. I could be wrong. I could be looking in the wrong place. When I've tried, I think it was like what, like 2016,
No, it wasn't that old.
18. Because you got to think Roman Reigns has had it for 4 years.
Yeah, I want to say, maybe 18.
18. That's what I'm saying. One of them isn't there, and I'm like when I go back and watch it, I have a lot of free time, so I'd just be watching like old pay-per-views to try to get like back knowledgeable as I once was. But
Wait,
no,
are you talking about I'm sorry. Are you talking about the Elimination Chamber that he won it at?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like Cena versus AJ versus Bray?
No, I'm talking about the Elimination Chamber where AJ Styles goes to hit the phenomenal forearm and he catches him, and then does the Sister Abigail and wins.
They re-uploaded it.
Okay. I was gonna say it was not up there when I was back like heavy watching like old pay-per-views. So I was like,
They streamed it 4 months ago on the YouTube channel.
that's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
they re-uploaded it.
I'm gonna have to go back and check it out, but no,
I'll just link it to you right now.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
It was the 2017 Elimination Chamber.
Okay, so I was a year off. It was 27. I said 2016 and 2018. The only year I did not guess. But yeah, like I left for like a big chunk of when it was like I heard I left at the best point in time because I heard after like it was like
Punk.
It was a dry period.
Punk?
That's the last main event that I remember, and it's one of my all-time favorite matches is Cena versus Punk. And then like I really like storytelling in wrestling. So what happened was basically like, like it's CM Punk won. And then like whatever, Vince McMahon comes out and tells Andrade, or not Andrade, but Alberto Del Rio to cash in his money in the bank, and he doesn't get it off. And me as a kid, I was screaming, I was shaking, I was going absolutely crazy. I was like, get out of the arena. And like he left, he blew him a kiss and like ran out. I at that point was like, this was peak. I don't need to watch anymore. And like I just fell off the horse at that point.
I remember being very upset because they had Rey Mysterio win the new WWE Championship the next night on Raw, and then face John Cena right after he won it to lose it. I was like, the fuck was the point of this?
Transitional champion.
Dude, and then they brought Punk back right afterwards to do a champion versus champion. I was like, dog, they pulled the trigger too fast on this. It was too fast.
It was just the fact that
let it settle.
He got to leave with the belt, and I was like,
no, that was great. It would have been better if they just let it settle for a bit. They brought him back too fast.
Oh, but yeah, I left for that amount of time, and then like Royal Rumble 2022, I think Cody Rhodes won because I think he won the last two. Mm-hmm. Or did Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble 2022, or was it 2023?
23 and 24.
Okay.
He won this year and last year.
Yeah, okay. So I started 2023. My bad.
Yeah.
But I watched Cody Rhodes win the last two Royal Rumbles. I hope to never see Cody Rhodes win another Royal Rumble. He does not need a third.
He probably is gonna hold the belt for a while.
I don't know. He's injured. He's injured.
Broken ribs.
Hey man, that's what happens when you go up against the Samoan Werewolf. That's such a cold nickname, dude. That's such a cold nickname.
I wonder where he got that from.
Probably MLW.
What made him be like, I'm a werewolf?
I mean, have you seen his like eyebrows, bro? I saw them cut up in 4 spots. I'm thinking about doing the same thing. It might look terrible, but I'm thinking about just cutting them up.
I'm not cutting up my eyebrows, man. I don't need to.
Okay.
Yeah,
whatever. Okay. Let's just move on. We talked about what got us here, where we are now. What is it? What does wrestling say? Past, present, future, together. Okay.
Then, now, forever.
Together. Triple H. Whatever. But now that we kind of given us, we fucking hate Triple H. Nah, he's been doing good. There are some decisions that I'm very pissed off about, but we ended up overall Triple H is finally feeding the company.
Do you want to get into our segment then?
No, I feel like we have to go into like our favorite wrestlers next because like people gotta pick a side on who they want to side with. And are you evil? Are you a heel? Or are you a baby face?
I'm
a heel?
I'm a bit around the place.
All right. Who's your favorite wrestler currently?
All right. Okay, currently
right now.
I broke it down
into
eras. I broke it down into the eras. Right this second, my favorite wrestler is Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay.
I don't know. That's a good pick.
Every single match I've seen from him in the last 2 years, including just going back into his library matches, have just been amazing. Like, just that's my dog. I'm like, yo, that's my dog. Give me one moment.
He might be cooking something. He might be cooking something. I don't know. I've seen him wrestle a little bit. He's been doing some crazy shit on AEW. He's been talking a lot. He's been doing a lot of mic work. I don't know. I personally am not a big fan of bruv talk. But like, hey, I get it. If that's your dual lingo, if that's your language, if that's your slang, if you will, then whatever, go off, King. You put on phenomenal matches. You're a 5-star machine, that's for sure. But my current favorite wrestler, and he hasn't been doing that good this year. But every time I watch him, I say like, this dude deserves to be like the face of the company, and he's deserved it for a long time. One point was a champion for about a day. Favorite wrestler currently, Finn Balor. I can't explain enough about him. The Demon, fantastic work. The creator of Bullet Club, fantastic work. The coup de grace, one of the most deadliest looking moves in the circuit right now. Absolutely. The Judgment Day is holding him back. I'm about to go into the next segment without even prompting anything. Finn Balor may be one of the best wrestlers on the face of the planet. And he does not get love, and he has not been getting booked right. But we have a segment on how I would book him, because what I feel is completely different than what most people feel. I feel like Finn Balor got cheated out once, and he deserves a second try. He deserves that title chance. He deserves the long reign. He didn't deserve to lose it at SummerSlam, which we were at. Me and Brandon were at SummerSlam in Detroit, and I got to watch one of the most phenomenal matches in a long time. Him versus Seth Rollins. I thought he had it. I thought that was it. I was wrong. Finn Balor, currently my favorite current wrestler. Honorable mention, though, Braun Breaker. He's been putting on a whole bunch of entertaining shit. Him slamming him through, like, the windshield. The sick spear where they did the... shout out WWE, like, camera crew. And who's ever doing the choreography. Because the angle where they got him and Ludwig Kaiser sprinting around the ring into the spear... chef's kiss. That was a masterpiece. And then who else do I think like really? I mean, I can't shoot the gun a little early. I do like how they introduced Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, like, he came out the gate swinging. That might be one of the most memorable like introduction of wrestlers I've seen in a while. For real. What other wrestler can you name that came out and took out the 3 biggest baby faces on SmackDown? We were talking, he took Randy Orton on, he took Kevin Owens on, he took Cody Rhodes on, and kayfabe broke his ribs. Or really broke his ribs. I don't know. But you can.
I think it literally, you have to go back to the Shield. I think that's the last time we had like a massacre.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't even know you were back. I'm
getting my camera back up.
But yeah, like the dominance, the absolute like just destroy. Like, he is the definition of like terror that the Tongas, the Tongaloa and Tama Tonga just weren't able to like provide. Like, they're good wrestlers. I'm not gonna sell them short. I don't like how they both did basically the same thing as their introduction. Like, I'm pretty sure Tonga Loa almost messed up his introduction when he first came out. He was like it was like 1, 2, and then he finally pulled the ref out. Like, I love them. I think the flatliner is a bullshit move, though. I feel like if you're gonna do it, like, you gotta make yourself scary. Like, if you're gonna be the new Bloodline or whatever you're gonna fucking call yourself, Bloodline 2.0, the Bloodline, the sequel, Bloodline, the next generation. I don't give a fuck what you call yourself. You have
Bloodline
to be.
Conqueror.
Yeah, man, you have to be fucking scary. And if you're not doing that for me, if I look inside the ring and I go like CM Punk said, the knockoff Usos, like, you guys, I don't see them in the tag team title picture.
They lost me when they went. Blah, blah, blah.
Randy Orton does that shit now. Everybody just has to get out the little gremlin demon every once in a while when they go like. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
but Randy was a meme. Like, he did it to be scary, and it wasn't.
I mean, bro, if you hear that
with
shit
that?
in an alleyway, you're gonna tell me that you're not scared?
Okay, yes.
You're not like, listen, I need someone, like, they have to look dominant. And the Loas and the Tongas and I'm even gonna go out on a stretch and say even Solo Sikoa, I didn't feel the same thing when they got introduced than when Jacob Fatu got introduced. Because they all did the same thing. They all just pulled the ref out. This dude got in the arena, got up in their face, and then just, like, wrecked shit. Like, I don't know how they're gonna somehow book it. Like, they tried to give Solo his chance. They had him do the multiple Samoan spikes to John Cena. It just doesn't. I don't have the same energy or the same. I don't even know the same foresight that they might have for Solo that I do with Jacob. I see Jacob as, like, a real threat to the SmackDown roster, where I don't see it with Tama Tonga or Tonga Loa.
That's fair. Yeah, I think they should just introduce Jacob as the enforcer to begin with, but I'm curious to see what his role in the squad is, because you can't have 3 enforcers. That just doesn't make sense. And, like, the newest Tonga, the second Tonga, it's not Tonga Loa, it's
Tama Tonga. It's Tonga Loa. That's the second one.
Loa.
Yep.
Tonga Loa. Like, when they try to introduce him, they're like, Tonga Loa is tall and aggressive.
He's
like, you're struggling. You're struggling.
They didn't do any research, but then, like, you saw Jacob Fatu come out.
Teach that. You might as well be Enzo.
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that.
But my problem is, when they get into the arena, I can't tell the difference between them. Like, I know.
When I walked away, did you say who your favorite wrestler of now is?
Yeah, I said Finn Balor. Finn Balor, and I said I can't get into our next segment yet because I think WWE is doing him fucking dirty.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave that for, I guess it's probably our last segment. Do you have a PG era favorite? I'm not going into the reality era. That shit was bullshit.
Nah, I would say my favorite of all time, and like I said, it is very opinionated, is CM Punk. He really, like, what he was doing is he was being a good heel. He was great on the mic, and he was dominant in the ring. Back-to-back Money in the Bank, which is huge. Like, the long repertoire of his accomplishments for the time that he was in WWE, because I didn't really watch him in AEW, really put him over the top. But, like, it was the pipe bomb promotion that really set him, like, it's engraved in my head. And I loved every moment, like, he was on the mic. He's still dominant on the mic. He's still making huge moments. He's still doing all this great shit. He did an excellent, what was it, Clash of the Castle, when he was the referee. Freaked out at that moment. Freaked out that he was supposed to be cleared for wrestling on Friday, but I think he didn't get cleared. So they had Drew McIntyre kick his ass. Drew's doing great work too. This might be the best character that Drew McIntyre has had.
I agree.
Fuck the Chosen.
This is the perfect time to bring back Broken Dreams. This is the perfect time. Everything fits. His heart is broken. He wants to break other people's dreams. Like, this is it. I prayed for this to happen with Broken Dreams, perfect mesh. They
Okay.
need to do it. Pull the trigger.
All right.
Pull the
So,
trigger.
like I was saying, CM Punk. CM Punk is my goat. My personal one. Love everything that he does. Especially him getting back with Paul Heyman on Friday. If they pull the trigger on that and take Paul Heyman away from Solo Sikoa, I might be at my peak. Like
Your
WWE,
blood will collapse.
I literally will scream the loudest I can ever do if they get back together. But that's my answer, at least. What about you?
So I think I valued wrestling during the PG era more than I did entertainment, if that makes sense. Because, like I said, like during the PG era, you know, I wasn't really going towards guys that were doing promotional stuff like John Cena, like big talkers. You know, when I was younger, like on the younger end of the PG era, I was a John Cena fan. As I got older, it became more Randy Orton. Batista was my number one for WWE during that time. Like I freaking love Batista. Actually, that's more. It's like in between Ruthless Aggression PG era, I guess. But PG era for sure, I would say would be for me AJ Styles. It wasn't like he was cutting great promos. It's just like, dude, I was enamored by the X division, and he was like one of the faces of that division for a long time.
Okay.
Like, and it's crazy to think a lot of the wrestlers that I like now were kind of past their prime when I started watching them, like Sting. I love Sting because of TNA. Did not know about WCW until years later. Like legit,
Just
even
no
though I started
idea.
with the Attitude Era, we were never a WCW household. We did not give a shit about what happened on Nitro. I found out years later there was another promotion, and that was what sparked the Attitude Era. Like, but Sting was one of my favorites from TNA. But for PG era, I would say it was AJ Styles. And then for Ruthless Aggression, I did say kind of Batista, but Kurt Angle also.
Kurt
Carried.
Angle. I mean, come
Kurt
on.
Angle. I mean, and this keeps going back to TNA, but his run in TNA, he was more of a TNA guy longer than he was a WWE guy.
Yeah.
At one point, his TNA run was sick. Some bad storylines, mostly sick. Kurt Angle, the meme, you know. But I also loved his WWE stuff. And then if I had to go back to the Attitude Era, it would be The Rock.
Okay.
He was just the funniest man alive to me at that time.
I know he's at the top of a lot of people's favorites. What did you feel about
Yeah.
the final boss character that he's playing now?
I thought it was dope. I honestly thought, guess who's calling me right now?
The final boss?
No. Well, yes. Our final boss at Lowe's.
What the?
Jonathan's calling me right now.
Does he know that we're live?
I don't think so. I don't think he knows. But
That man should have been a wrestler.
he should have been right. That man is big.
Big man. Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I love the final boss gimmick. I thought it was a great transition. Clearly, people didn't really want to, like, people probably would have been okay with that main event if you didn't have Cody win, right?
But if you don't have Cody win,
dude, it went to shit because Cody won and then pointed at Roman, and the next week they were like, you know, not face Roman. I'm gonna let The Rock handle it. That was so dumb. Like, don't tease it. Don't tease it. Legit. Or don't have him win. I get it. Punk could have won. He got hurt. But, like, legit. Just don't tease it, you know?
I mean, as you see, everybody at one point was like, "We want Cody." Now, all the cheers you hear are, "We want Roman."
True.
You don't know what you have until it's gone, my tribal chief. If you ever watch this one day, just know, I want you back, and I want you back now.
Right now.
But I feel like it's time to move on.
Okay.
What's the next segment you want to pick? We should throw this back and forth.
Let's do best matches. This is how I thought about it, right?
Okay.
Again, I could break things down into era. Like if I had to pick someone to just like follow this guy's career and you'll be impressed, um, it'll be like Will Ospreay or a Shawn Michaels, like just throwing on good matches, or Daniel Bryan Danielson.
Undertaker.
Well, see, here's the thing, right?
Mhm.
Undertaker has iconic matches.
Mhm.
It depends on what you're going for. Like, are you going for presentation?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going for like shock and awe? How are you introducing wrestling to someone? Because I feel like there's a match for each one of those kind of situations. My favorite match for the longest time was Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker WrestleMania 25. And we've talked about this. That is the match that I've gotten people into wrestling with because I'm like, look at this. This is like a well set up match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't rated 5 stars, but emotion was in the match. You know, Ric Flair's first retirement match, his first retirement match with Shawn Michaels.
Should have been his last.
Should have been his last. It was the perfect ending. Had emotion in it. I would like for people who want like a show, you gotta pick the showstopper, Shawn Michaels. Or if you want to show them like how athletic wrestlers are, you go with a Will Ospreay type. Or if you want to go with how extreme people are, you could go with like a Mick Foley.
Blood and
No.
Guts, John Moxley, 2023.
Shawn Moxley. Show them death matches. So like I feel like it really depends. But like if I had to pick my favorite match right now of all time, it would probably be because it's a little bit sentimental to me. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25. I'm not saying it's the best match. I'm not saying there aren't matches better than that. It's just my favorite match.
Okay. I can agree with that. That one made my honorable mentions, WrestleMania 25. Like I said, I think about the moonsault into the tombstone pile driver like twice a week. Like I think like it shouldn't fucking work, but it does, and it's fantastic. And I don't think they could replicate it. I feel like it is something that happens once, kind of like the moonsault into the RKO with Evan Bourne and Randy Orton. Kind of like a bunch of those moments where you're like, this shouldn't happen, and you see it happen, and you go like, oh, someone was cooking. Someone was like, someone's in the back with a pan and some oil and just tearing that shit up. But that didn't make my top. I already said my top because it was the last match I ever watched before I got back into it. It's got to be CM Punk versus John Cena. That match had everything for me. It was like a 45-minute match. There was multiple finishers, multiple last-second shoulder up. It was a technical match. It was a bout of finishers. It was basically the most evil person at the time versus the hero. And for once, the villain got away with it due to a distraction by the man who was willing to put everything on the line to keep the title in his company. And even at that point, even when he's down... Villain. Yeah, the biggest villain. Well, I don't even think we're allowed to say his name, so we're not going to.
If we do, he might appear.
But we'll just say his name is Byron Saxton. Basically, Byron Saxton ordered. I keep wanting to say Andrade, but it's the other one.
Alberto
Del Rio forced him out. And even then, we got like a high roundhouse kick to his head, and then a bounce, and then just to finish it off, just the sweet blows him a kiss, and then runs out into the audience. Like you can't replicate
into his hometown crowd.
You cannot replicate that. You cannot replicate the feelings, the emotion, the crowd, the people. Listen, I know the new standard is Lyon, France. But before it was Lyon, France, it was fucking Chicago at that point in time. And even after that, the next biggest pop in like the next 10 years was CM Punk returning at Survivor Series 2023 in Chicago.
I'm a bit biased, but Puerto Rico went off for Bad Bunny. I'm just saying.
Listen, I said the next biggest. I'm not saying that it didn't. I'm not saying Puerto Rico didn't show out for Bad Bunny. I'm saying everybody knows Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, but Chicago is CM Punk's city.
That's true.
I'm sorry, but you had two Puerto Ricans fighting in that match. No matter who came out, they were on top. You could have gave it to Cena. In Chicago, you could have absolutely had the biggest upset. You could have did what they did with Drew McIntyre.
Dude, bring back the one night stand that launched the reboot of ECW, RVD versus Cena at Hammerstein Ballroom. Cena wins, we riot. That was pretty much the atmosphere in Chicago that night.
And I'm like, I don't feel like I've had such an anxiety ridden crowd because like Chicago would riot. Like it's not a sign, it's an energy. Like I'm from Detroit, very close to Chicago. I've gone out to Chicago multiple times. Great pizza, great. They have, I think, the beans out there, the giant like glass bean. It's a really nice place. I had a whole bunch of soccer tournaments out there. But like the whole atmosphere of Chicago is kind of like New York, except like we over here are a little bit more aggressive in certain areas, but they're like, listen, don't fuck with Chicago, don't fuck with New York, don't fuck with Detroit. There's just a few things that you don't fuck around with. And it's the crowds in all those places. Listen, someone's going to have to beat Lyon, France. I don't think it's going to be a US crowd, but someone's got to beat them.
It's going to be a soccer crowd. Like if they go to like a Spain or South America, pops for any like show. If they go to South America, I guarantee there's going to be a bit like a Brazil or
Brazil would be sick. Like Rio.
Rio. Dude, yeah. If they had one of the big fours in Rio, that'd be sick.
I don't think you can't take the big four away from the US though. Can you? I feel like
there's already talks of putting it in London.
It's just talks. They're not AEW. They can't get Wembley like that.
They did recently, and I just saw this today. Indianapolis is getting 3 of the big 4 soon. So they're getting the Royal Rumble 2025.
Indianapolis, no. Oh, Cleveland's getting SummerSlam this year.
Yeah. So they're getting Royal Rumble 2025. They're expected to get an upcoming WrestleMania soon and an upcoming SummerSlam. Yeah, they announced it.
What the
big
fuck?
3 is coming to Indianapolis.
What the fuck does Indianapolis have besides the 500?
At McAfee.
That's it.
I think that's the.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
I think they proved a good crowd because they've had a lot of tournaments in the last few years show up in the same stadium that they would be going to. So I think that's probably why.
I mean, that's solid. Like I said, like like in the end, it is what it is. But like back to what I was saying, CM Punk brings too much to Chicago. So anytime he's there, everybody's screaming, like he's up hugging everybody. He's definitely changed from 2011 to now, but 2011 Punk was on Demon Time. And that's why like that match,
he was on Clobbering Time. That's what he yells. Clobbering Time.
Anyways. But yeah, that's why I'm going to put Cena and Punk 2011 Money in the Bank up there for my number one. Listen, I know there's better matches, but like the feeling that I got from the match, I don't think has ever been replicated in modern wrestling and past wrestling. I know there's been better moments. I know there's been bigger stars. I know there's been bigger everything. The feeling that I got in 2011 absolutely destroyed the rest of wrestling for me. That was my peak. And now that I'm back into it, I'm like, someone's gotta replicate it. Someone's gotta do something crazy. I think it's gonna be Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker is gonna bring back that absolute like ruthless aggression wrestling. And I can't wait.
Peak Brock. Oh no, Peak Brock did happen in the PG era, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, it was when he returned that he really started being... I mean, he was dominant when he was there, but...
For sure, for sure. Okay. So what's next after best matches?
We have saving storylines, and I'm not biased to butt.
Oh, I guess we can go to the I'm not biased. I actually wrote this down in my notes because like I'm incredibly biased, so I feel like I would try to flip my own script.
Oh my boy, this is just your segment.
Oh no, it's not.
Just your segment.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So I'm gonna. I guess okay, because I'm incredibly biased. There's not anything against. I like my wrestlers. I like a certain type of wrestler, and I run with it. So for starters, I'm not biased, but give Chad Gable the Intercontinental title. I personally like Sammy. I think he's a great wrestler and decent on the mic, but he's just not fit for the current Intercontinental bracket. I am so tired of seeing the same 4 people going up against the Intercontinental Championship. I'm tired of them not trying to build up new people. I'm tired of them not saying anything. The only thing that has happened last week, thank God, is they introduced Sheamus and they introduced Braun Breaker into the Intercontinental title like bracket. But the fact that they are building Chad Gable up as a heel, they took Alpha Academy away from him. They're doing all this other shit to him. They are making him alone and like responsible for all of his own things. Give him the creeds. Give him the creeds, give him the title, and then boost the fuck out of the creeds, brother. You gotta get rid of that whack-ass move, the Brutus Bomb. Ball, whatever it's called. It's not doing shit to anybody. It doesn't look good. These are big, strong dudes, man. Like, they are doing...
I wince every time I see it. I'm like, is he gonna land well this time? Like,
I saw this dude doing an ankle lock with one arm and powerbomb someone with the other. You could do so many better moves. But they're like the Brutus Ball. It's whack. It's whack. But... if you're not going to give Chad Gable the title, you have to make him cost Sami Zayn the title. You have to. It has to be like a no disqualification match. He's up against Braun Breaker. He hits a haluva kick. Braun Breaker collapses into the side. And as he's running over, Chad Gable comes up behind him and does the Chaos Theory suplex and gets him down and throws Braun Breaker on top of him. So he knows I got the last laugh on Sami Zayn. He has to become even more of a villain because like I feel like Alpha Academy was holding him back. Like he kept planning for things with a group. But now that he's on his own against the world, I need him to do something with it. I need him to do something with it.
Specifically, stop being on his own against the world.
Because, like, listen, Sami Zayn, I don't know if I wanted him to beat Gunther. I realize that Gunther is more of a main talent now. He's dominant, like, he's strong, he's quick, he's great, he's got the power bombs, he's got the look, he's got the Ludwig, he's got it all. He's got it all. Do I think that Sami Zayn...
does he have it all? He don't got a top rope repertoire, in my opinion.
We could talk about that at another date. We could talk about that. But...
I got things to say.
I know that he had to move up. But Samuel? You're putting the belt on Samuel? That's fine. He's great. He's good at what he does. He's good at hyping up the crowd, and he's good at being a baby face. I need new mid-card champions. And since I'm bringing up new mid-card champions, the next thing I'm not biased, but is give LA Knight the United States title. Logan is a phenomenal, both on the mic and in the ring, but I need someone who will be there week after week and not off at some whack-ass Tetris tournament. The fact that LA Knight had to bring up that he's being a dork and he's playing Tetris and he's doing all this shit LA Knight has been a main eventer for a while. He did all the stuff with the Bloodline. He did all the stuff with the Bloodline. He did all the stuff with AJ Styles. He's doing stuff. He did stuff with Solo. He's been a main event talent for a while, but they don't want to pull a title opportunity on him. They did give him a one-on-one. They gave him a one-on-one at, I think it was Clash of the Castle, Saudi Arabia. Which one was it?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, which one is that? That's Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
They gave him a chance at Crown Jewel, and I was like, okay, he put on a better match than I expected. So I was like, maybe they'll give him another one. Then they gave him a Fatal 4-Way, and I was like, Roman Reigns is winning a Fatal 4-Way. Roman, like, you're not gonna have Roman lose a Fatal 4-Way, but he hasn't gotten a title. And if you're not going to pull the trigger on a main title, because, like, there's no way that you're going to have Cody lose in the next 6-7 months. If you do, all the air will leave my body. I will give the biggest, oh yeah. I'll give the biggest, oh yeah. But until that happens, put the U.S. title on him. Listen, Logan can develop and he can do more stuff in the main roster position. He can get another title opportunity. Like, I feel like Logan's too good to not get moved up, and I think LA Knight has waited long enough to not have a title. And if you're going to give LA Knight a title, give him the United States one. It makes the most sense, and will push him up just higher and higher up, because he'll have that stamp of approval that, like, hey guys, I can get a title. I can hold on to this. I'm not old yet. I'm still in this shit. It's still LA Knight, yeah, territory, but we'll see. Money in the Bank next week, I think. Is it next week?
Yeah.
But
I have a bias that I want to. I'm not biased, but Nick Aldis needs to wrestle a match in WWE. I don't care if he faces Adam Pearce. I don't care if he ends up fighting the Bloodline.
Michael Cole.
That man is a great wrestler, and I don't know if he has his reasons for not wrestling anymore. Like, I didn't look too much into it. When
doesn't want to. He's not interested.
I would love for him just to have one match. Like, it doesn't have to be consistent. I just want him to have one match.
Yeah, I mean, like, I assume that it's gonna be coming out, like, eventually. Like, he's gonna hit somebody. I think that's, like, it's been, like, foreshadowed that he
took a bump, right? He already took a bump. Randy Orton RKO'd him.
Yeah, so, like, eventually he's gonna get his lick back. I assume so. But my last bias, and this is my most important one. Like, if WWE ever listens to anything that I say, or reads any of my tweets, or does anything else, I need you...
Or reads my will.
Or reads the carrier pigeons I send to Connecticut, or literally the billboards that I've put up in New York, or anything else, push Finn Balor. Listen, to bring back out the demon and either dethrone or break up Judgment Day, I feel like the seeds are being planted. I feel like they are cooking up a storyline for the breakup of the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan is messing around with Dominic Mysterio. Finn Balor having the hotel room key, whatever. The thing that makes me so mad is when matches are predictable, and I'm so nervous that this might be the worst Money in the Bank coming up. I don't listen, I'm not the biggest Jey Uso guy. I'll let it slide, whatever. I think Jey Uso is confirmed to be in there. I think Carmelo Hayes is confirmed to be in there, right? And then who's the third guy? I don't even know who the
Andrade.
Andrade is going to be good. I feel like I'm tired of seeing super kicks. I don't think they should cheap out Jey Uso by giving him the Money in the Bank. I don't think they should give Carmelo the Money in the Bank either, because I don't see a storyline right now that he's like, oh, like, I'm going to dethrone Cody Rhodes. Like, I feel like we're going to see Super Cody if Carmelo cashes that in, and we're going to see a loss in the Money in the Bank, and that's the most terrible thing to do for your show, is have someone lose the Money in the Bank. Andrade is our Speed champion right now, so I don't, whatever. Speed isn't, a real title. It's a good concept.
Andrade, here's the thing, right? Andrade speaks broken English, he needs a mouthpiece, and that's what Zelina Vega was for him on his first run.
Yeah.
Like when he was first called up from NXT, or in NXT, and when he was first called up. I feel like if they make him a champion, he might need another mouthpiece again. Like it would be with a manager. You know what I'm saying?
Like Jeff Jarrett.
Who that man? Jeff Jarrett. Well, that man's. I think he's sticking with AEW.
For now.
Double J. I don't know who would be a good manager for him right now. Like I don't know if it would be like a female mouthpiece or a male mouthpiece. Hey, if Charlotte Flair starts talking for him, that might be good.
I mean, that's true. We don't see Charlotte Flair that much anymore. I know that she's still not cleared, but like I said, what you do is like I really wanted Finn Balor to win Money in the Bank this year, and then there'd just be that same doom that Damian Priest had every time he came out to the arena when Finn was wrestling. I want reparations for my boy Finn Balor. That's what I want. I want everyone to realize that he's still a phenomenal wrestler and that he deserves more credit than what he's got. Even when he loses, he puts on great matches.
Yeah.
My issue is like he had the belt for one day, and ever since then he's been getting made fun of. He's just been falling off. I don't need him to fall off anymore. He did the whole 7 thing on his shoulder, and I was like, this is his moment, and he fell off. And I hate watching that. So I was really hoping that, like, we get a coup de grace, and, like, Jey Uso is, like, knocked out. But nope, Jey won. I am very nervous for the Money in the Bank this year. But WWE's been cooking on other pay-per-views.
What are the odds that the YS6 hijacks the Money in the Bank and there's no like real winner? Like they either steal the briefcase or they target whoever has the briefcase. Just think about it like this, right? We have a triple threat: Chad Gable, Braun Strowman, and Bronson Reed.
Yep.
A
lot of Browns.
If either Braun Strowman or Chad Gable win, they could both be targeted by the YS6 at the Money in the Bank ladder match.
That's another thing I do want to bring up. If they didn't pull the trigger on Monday, the YS6 would have fell off. The YS6 would have not been as... I think they should have showed up at Clash at the Castle, personally. I think they should have maybe even showed up the event before that in France. They pulled the trigger at the last moment physically possible, and it worked out very well for them. It worked out very well. So much so that they had to introduce Jacob Fatu on Friday night, because if they didn't do that, Raw would be going down as the greatest show of the week, and Friday Night SmackDown would just be 4 matches for 2 hours. That shit still blows my mind.
Yeah, we actually timed it because we were on the 3rd match and there was like 30 minutes left or like 40 minutes left, and we're like, was this all just a promo show? Why is all? And then we got to the main event. It was 10 minutes left because we DVR'd it. We didn't watch it live. We DVR'd it, but we got to 10 minutes left and we're like, what is gonna happen in this match? Like, we avoided all spoilers and everything, and then it turned out to be Jacob Fatu ruining the match, or not ruining the match.
The Tonga's coming in, beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Then Randy and KO come out, and then he's like, "Wait!" And I hate when like they make the who's supposed to be the villain look weak, but he was a wolf in sheep's clothing.
So my concern is, right, because they pulled this 4th man trigger, and there's rumors that Zilla's gonna be next, right?
Zilla is gonna be a part of the ones. There's no way that it's gonna be like this is I hope to God. Listen, if you're gonna take advice from me, take it now. Roman comes back and
Not
says,
for the Finn part.
Listen, I'm saying if you want to have a solid storyline, listen
this
here.
Podcast. Let's take this entire.
Listen to this right here. Roman comes back. He says, like, give me my shit back to Solo. The Tonga, Solo, and them jump him, beat his ass, get down, beating him. Jimmy and Jay come out. They're sprinting. They're like, ooh, so da, 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 da. They get in, super kicks. You know what they do? They get their ass beat. And like just then The Rock comes out and says, I'm the tribal chief. And then who comes behind The Rock? Zilla Fatu to even out the number. So it's a 5v4. Fuck.
Cody,
at that point, you have to throw
them.
Cody Rhodes in.
Cody joins them.
Either that, yeah, no, it's I was gonna say either him or Sammy.
Sammy could be a pick.
Listen, don't take every word I say because it's not well thought out. But
it's all reactionary.
Yeah, like if you want to pop, you give me back Jimmy Uso and you bring Zilla Fatu out. I don't want any more of Zilla Fatu hiding underneath the ring and shit. I need him to walk down the ramp. Because the amount of Samoans and Tongians that they've hidden under the ring the last 2 months, it's getting old, it's getting stale. Bring someone out and bring them out coming correctly.
Not like Hornswoggle.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I guess that kind of hits our saving storylines. Like, yes, they brought a good job bringing out Jacob, but the new bloodline does feel lackluster, and that's why there's the We Want Roman chance, because it's not cool anymore to be part of the bloodline. Jacob changes the tide for that, I think.
That's what the Samoan werewolf is nuts. But if we are talking about saving storylines, WWE is pissing me off. I need them to keep A-Town Down Under a team, because these guys are funny and fun to watch. If they actually start like developing them better and like letting them like show out more, Austin Theory is a phenomenal wrestler. He's a good mouthpiece. That's what I'm saying. Like, he fits the role that he could easily win back like the mid-card championship. I think he could easily bring back his credibility. They are putting seeds that are making Grayson Waller seem like the next likely pick. If they're going to turn Austin babyface, they have to do it right. And I think it's weird that 3 weeks or like whatever, it might be like 2 months now after WrestleMania, where they win the titles and they're like doing all this, they're thinking about breaking them up. I don't like it. Triple H. Cut it out. That's not what we want. We want A-Town Down, and we want A-Town Down Under's entrance in WWE 2K24.
Yes, that 2K dog. Please, they
Fumbled.
were a tag team last year.
Fumbled, and they won at WrestleMania.
Get it together, dog. They have one of the coolest tag entrances.
Fumbling.
They really do.
And oh wow, yeah, I said bring back Jimmy with Zilla to save Jay, make Jimmy a good big brother. He was trying to be before Detroit SummerSlam. And then I was gonna say, like, here's a photo of us at Detroit SummerSlam before I had to watch Jay Uso lose to Roman after getting.
Should have been a no bloodline at ringside or something like that. What was it? No bloodline.
Tribal combat. You're not allowed to have
combat.
any interruptions, and we had two. I think.
Two, yeah.
Solo
Yeah.
But man, I think that's it for episode 1 of the Ref Bump podcast. Unless you got something else to throw in.
I don't. I think this is a good stop point. Make sure to elbow drop that like button. Make sure to super kick.
I'm not putting my dogs on camera.
I mean, I'm just not that flexible.
I'm not putting my Braun Breakers on camera.
Ref bump that notification bell.
And keep up to date with all of us. But anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next one.